The first DLC I ever bought was in Black Ops 1 map pack number 2. Used the last little bit of my birthday money for a couple maps in Call of the Dead. A map that fucking sucked. Did you know the Pack-a-Punch FAMAS has a 9.25x damage multiplier against George? Yeah, you can wipe that fucker out in like 20 seconds. Was fucking news to me. Now this was back when DLC actually added content to the game, when actual content was being sold. Whether or not you were one of the few that liked Call of the Dead, I don't give a fuck, but we can all agree it was content. Now, in the same way opening a door for a girl was the bare minimum back in the day, this was the bare fucking minimum amount of content for $15 fucking dollars. Like, Black Ops 1 was released in 2010. Let's see what $15 gets you today in the news Call of Duty. So this is the store in Modern Warfare 3. Let's just see what exactly we got here. We got some trending packs here, 2,400 COD points, 2,400 COD points. I'm saying 2,400, 2,400. It's like, so 2,400 COD points seems to be like the standard here, but how much money does 2,400 COD points cost? 27 fucking dollars. And what do you actually get from this? You get a fucking skin that you can't see, a couple guns, a little animation. Fuck all. You get 27 fucking dollars. I mean, this one is, you know, half the price. This one's only like 13, 14 bucks. And yeah, you get a little dinky fucking skin and, you know, some emblems. Like, this is roughly this amount of money years ago would have gotten you 4 multiplayer maps and a zombies map. And that wasn't even just in Black Ops 1. They've been doing that for several COD games, you know, even afterwards. $27 for a fucking skin. You're out of your mind. You might also notice that back in the day, it was dollars, but now it's X COD points or X V-Bucks or gem or gold or whatever the fuck, right? Do you know why they do that? And then they don't just go, oh, hey, this is $2.50. It's because our brains disassociate those little fake placeholder currencies from real money, especially fucking children. The shit's fucking predatory. Nowadays, this shit is as bad as one of those little iPad games, you know, your mom used to download so you'd shut the fuck up at the doctor's office, right? Anything you buy is either completely useless garbage or it's pay to win. Now, by no means am I some fucking gaming Socrates. Oh, these microtransactions are ruining the game. We all know this. They're prioritizing them over every other piece of content in the fucking game, because it makes them money. I feel like the industry is riddled with this little sneaky 2-step process. So step 1, release an unfinished game, one that you have to pay for, full of microtransactions. Step 2, you use the profits from said microtransactions to then fund the development of the rest of the game and then release it out in updates later. That's a fucking Ponzi scheme, or at least fucking close enough to one that, you know, questioning the ethicality of it, I think is pretty reasonable. I mean, Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign, but, you know, you bet your fucking ass there was some shit you could buy. Same goes for MW3, this new one. There was like, you know, 1 or 2 brand new maps at launch. The rest was just like recycled shit. But the store is packed every day. Now, if we back up for a second, like, obviously they're doing this for money, right? They're not making enough profit on their regular game. I would argue, you know, if you just put more game into the game, you might see some more sales. Or just have a longer development cycle. That's fine too. It was with the release of MW3 where I was like, oh yeah, no, this shit isn't getting better at all. What is a pay-to-win game? Okay, this is my own definition here. If paying money gives you any kind of advantage in any way over somebody that didn't spend the money, that is pay-to-win. Now, pay-to-win has always existed in games. You know, in the App Store, Clash of Clans is free, right? You know, they got to make their money somehow. But there are 2 things we got to think about here, right? 1, the base game, like COD, isn't always free. I get upset when I have to pay $70 for a game, and then there's still a bunch more shit for me to buy. Even worse if it's just to get to a level playing field. And I'm not even talking like specifically competitive advantages, progression advantages too. If I'm gonna progress way fucking quicker if I spend $5, I fucking hate that. It's a lot like Costco. I gotta give you money so you will let me give you more money. Like, what? Number 2, I mean, at least with Clash of Clans, you know, if you buy fucking sea cans full of gems, you're not really ruining the game for everybody else. You're just kind of fucking it up for you. But when it starts to affect other players, you know, it's a bit of a different story. And it's not just the pay to win that sucks. I mean, call me old school, but, you know, back in the day, you know, I saw someone with some, like, dope-ass skin or camo or whatever the fuck it was, right? I was in awe. I was like, dude, I know that you busted ass for that, and now I am inspired. I am uplifted now because I want to bust ass now. I want to get that skin. You know, now I'm jealous. Right, but now I see these guys in like the coolest fucking skins because they obviously they're gonna sell the cool shit. They want to make sales, right? And I'm like, oh, you know, you just dropped like half a tank of gas into that, and that's why you have the cool shit. Like, and if you don't think they have entire teams of psychologists like deliberately crafting every function to try to force you to, have you ever seen this fucking chart? It's fucking interesting, huh? Yeah. Pause the video, take a look at that shit. But it's these AAA titles, right? The game design is falling short, the amount of content is lesser and lesser, but the amount of shit to buy is more and more. And maybe Modern Warfare 3 is an extreme example of this, but I mean, the entire fucking game isn't original. Actman has a great video about this. Shitty campaign, how short it is. And great video, you should check it out. The thing is, unlike the mobile games, you are ruining the game for everybody else too. Like GTA Online. The inflation has gotten rapidly fucking out of hand. New players now have to grind way more than they ever did before to accommodate these retarded prices. But the shark cards are fucking, there you go. Or Mass Effect Andromeda. I mean, you could buy fucking everything in that game. Tell me you have not experienced this exact fucking situation, okay? You're playing this game, you're dumping hundreds of hours into this shit, you're having a blast, getting all your points and whatever the fuck, right? And then some guy comes along, spends like $200, and in 5 minutes he has the same, if not way more shit than you do. And so now you're sitting there fucking Pikachu face, right? Like, what the fuck? And then you start thinking about things differently, right? You're like, you know, I've put like 200 hours into this, but if I could be just as far with like $50, then I'd be kind of stupid not to, right? I mean, surely an hour of my time is worth more than like a quarter, right? And so now it just kind of feels silly to play because you know that you would have had this shit all unlocked fucking 2 weeks ago if you just, you know, and you're like, oh, well, now I don't even really want to do this anymore. Yeah, you know, and it's that feeling that ruins a game entirely. Paying for these DLCs is cheating. It is fucking cheating. You cannot convince me otherwise. Like, let's say I hacked all of that stuff that they're just selling into the game on my own, okay? You'd be fucking furious. But because I can drop, you know, a couple $1,000s on the fuck, you're like, oh, okay. It's this weird thing where it's just morally acceptable that people can do that. That's fucking ridiculous. I remember the first time I really cheated on a game, and I ruined it for everybody I knew. And it was completely unintentional. I used to absolutely fucking love this game called Cookie Clicker. It's a dumb little game. You click on the cookies to get more cookies get buy more shit to get more cookies, and then you get more cookies. I loved it, but I didn't have a computer to play it on. Now, at the time, we went to my Nana's house every Sunday for dinner, and she had a computer in her office. You bet your ass, every Sunday, I'm bolting up those fucking stairs, getting logged in, and I'm hopping on Cookie Clicker, right? Ironically, Nana didn't allow cookies. I often had to restart, which is funny. Okay, I'd play it the whole time, and I'd get as far as I absolutely could. No, I mean, I'd be clicking on cookies even when I didn't really need to. Just, you know, every little bit I was going. But now one day, right, I got 009 Dreamscape just fucking blasting on repeat, right? And I see a video in the suggestion bar, and it's like, Cookie Clicker, you know, how to get unlimited cookies. And I'm like, fucking hey, I'm making this all harder than it's gotta be, you know? This ought to be a good watch. Turns out you open up your console, you type in game.cookies and however many you want, and there you go. It's the easiest cheat ever. So I'm like, oh shit, right? I'm typing like 100 million cookies, and fucking sure as shit, 100 million fucking, and I'm like looking over my shoulder, right? Like I just hacked the fucking Matrix. Like, so I cheat the shit out of the game, right? I mean, 100 million cookies is like a drop in the fucking Pacific Ocean compared to what I brought in. I mean, at this point, I've hacked in such a retarded amount of cookies that I'm like shocking myself that there are names for numbers that even go this high. But at a certain point, I kind of sit back a little bit. For the first time, I'm done. I beat the game. And for the first time, I'm turning off the computer before my mom can come and get me. Now, I hadn't yet realized what had happened. The next day I go to school, right, and I'm hyped. I can't wait to show my friends this shit. Sitting next to each other in the lab, right, we both open the tab at the exact same time, and we get on it just as we always did. And, you know, in like 5 minutes, you know, he has a couple thousand, he's doing okay. He looks over at me, and I have like 900 septicillion, and he's like, what the fuck? He's not that stupid. Obviously, I did something, but I don't tell him, right? I'm like, I like the status, right? But he gets angry, he closes the tab, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, and I fucking show him, right? And then just like I did before, he beats the game in like 20 minutes. And he closes the fucking tab. We never played Cookie Clicker again. it was then I kind of clued in, like, oh, I just ruined like my favorite game. Not just for me and my friend. I mean, we had quite a crowd. It was a fucking spectacle how many cookies I had. I go back next Sunday and I load up Cookie Clicker and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play it legit this time, right? It's just not the same anymore. It feels cheap. You know, it feels pointless, right? Like the whole time I'm completely aware that I'm taking the slower route, the more inefficient route. And the truth is, I mean, I hacked in so many fucking cookies, I would never actually be able to get to that number playing legit. It would be impossible. I don't have enough time. And the clips that you're seeing, yeah, that's me playing the game only for this video. I wouldn't open that up in my own time because knowing the cheat is there, it just, yeah. While this may be a bit of an exaggeration, sure, it's kind of the same feeling you get in these modern titles, right? You know, if you can just buy your way through the progression, now the rest of it it feels cheap. You feel stupid for sinking so much time into it. Like, I made a video a couple weeks back about the death of casual gaming, right? Where I talk about how these games are catered so heavily to this hardcore audience that can invest all this time, but they also cater so heavily to the whales with the big fat fucking mommy's credit card wallet. The quality of our games has gone to shit. Now we can blame the economy and but you know whose fault this is? It's fucking ours. They would not be doing this shit if it didn't work. Like, the best thing that you can do for the games that we love is to stop buying the fucking microtransactions. Stop. Especially if you already paid for the game. If it's a free game, indie developer, whatever, you know, fucking rights. Go nuts. Absolutely. But these AAA titles, you're paying 80 fucking bucks for the game and you're still giving... No, that's bullshit and we should be standing up against that stuff. If somehow I could convince everybody to stop buying these fucking packs, we'd see a change pretty fucking quick. But that's all I got. Thank you guys for watching. New videos every other Monday. Stay tuned. Check it out. Have a great day.